This is an important man. He's about to go on a long journey to try and get himself made king. Then he'll come home again to reign over his kingdom. Before he goes, he calls some of his servants to come to see him.
I'm giving each of you some money. You'll each get the same amount. I want you to use this money to do some business while I'm gone. I'll see you when I get back.
King? He wants to be king? No way! We don't want him ruling over us. You and you, follow him. Tell them he'd be a bad king and make sure he doesn't come back.
Just in! We got purple cloth and ripped from Thyatira. Best in the world, come and get it!
Get your pottery here. We've got cups, bowls, jugs, anything you need.
Aren't you the servants of the man who thinks he's going to be king? Why are you out here doing business? Has your master abandoned you?
No, he's coming back, but he's given us some money to put to work in the meantime.
Your master's gone. He's not king, and he's not coming back.
I have returned. Where are my loyal servants?
Here I am. Look, the money you gave me has earned 10 times more.
Excellent. You've proven yourself to be faithful to me. I shall put you in charge of 10 cities.
Master, the money you gave me has earned 5 times more.
Wonderful. Because you have proven I can trust you, I shall put you in charge of 5 cities.
Sir, here is the money you gave me. I have kept it safe in this cloth. I knew you were a strong-minded, hard man, so I was afraid.
I'm a hard man, am I? Very well, I shall judge you like a hard man. Take his money and give it to the first servant.
But, sir, he already has 10.
That's my point. To everyone who has shown themselves to be faithful to me, I shall give more, but those who are not faithful, I shall take what little they do have. Now, about those enemies who didn't want me to be king. Hello. Right, okay, we're going to have a bit of a chat and a discussion now about the story that we've just seen and learn a bit about it. So first, let's just find about where does it come in the Bible? Okay, so this is the point when Jesus is actually just about to go into Jerusalem, and this is the point where he goes in, and you remember the story with the donkey and the palm branches. It's quite a famous story that we often cover in children's church sometimes. And the people were with Jesus, and they were really thinking, well, he's going into Jerusalem to be king. He's going to be proclaimed king. This is going to be this great occasion. And what Jesus was trying to say to them was, no, that's not going to happen. You know, he knew what was going to happen. He knew he was going into Jerusalem and he would die. And so this story is really telling the people about, well, what should they be doing during the time between when he dies and when he comes back. And we're still in that time between when Jesus died and when he's going to come back, or when we go to heaven to be with him. So this story really speaks to us as well as to the people he was speaking to. So we had some characters in our story, didn't we? And we've got characters here. Here they are. So where's the important man? Yeah, there he is with his purple robe on. And who was the important man, the king, meant to be? Jesus, yeah. So he represents Jesus in our story. And then we had some servants, didn't we? Going to show us our servants?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so our servants were lions in our story. And we had, who are these over here?
The baddies.
Yeah, there was some kind of baddies, some enemies, weren't there? Who didn't want the king coming back. They didn't particularly like the king, and they were sort of hoping to stop him. And we still find people like that today who don't really, don't like Jesus. They don't want to know about Jesus. They don't want to know who he is, and can sometimes cause problems for us. So that's all part of the story. And the king gave something to the servants, didn't he? What did he give them?
Money, money, money.
He gave them money, and then what did he ask them to do? What did he ask them to do with the money?
Do business.
Do business. Yeah,
Go out there and run a
use
shop.
the money and make something with it. It was quite a lot of money in those days. In today's money, it might have been something like £5,000. So it was quite a lot of money that each of them had, and they had something to do with it, didn't they? Yeah. So who were they making money for? Was it for themselves that they were making the money for? No, it wasn't. It was for the king. It was for the king. So in much the same way that the important man gave them gifts, Jesus gives us gifts. Okay, and those gifts might be things like encouraging people, helping people. It might be that we're really good at speaking to people and leading people and teaching people. It might be good that, I don't know, we're really good at making cake, and we can make cake and give it to people and encourage people that way. All sorts of amazing gifts that Jesus has given to us, and all of us have gifts that we can use. And this story is saying, well, Jesus has given us gifts. Use the gifts that he's given us to help other people, to tell other people about him. So each of the servants kind of had to have a bit of a plan. They had to have a vision as to what were they going to do with what they were given. How could they make more with it? And in our story, we had them on the market stall. What were they doing on the market stall?
Making business. Selling pottery and
Clothes.
clothes.
And cloth. They were sort of selling cloth and pottery, and they were getting more money that way. So that's what we had them doing. And then we had a third servant, didn't we? And what did he do?
Nothing.
He did nothing. Yeah. So he was a bit scared. He didn't know whether the king was coming back or what was going on, and he just decided to hide his gift and not use it. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have a vision about what he was going to do with what he'd been given. Cool. So we thought we'd do a little bit of a experiment and see what it's like doing something if you don't have a plan. Do you remember what do we do, boys?
We made a cake, which came out very well, and I liked it.
We did make a cake, and it came out okay, didn't it? So we made a cake, but we didn't have any recipe. You didn't have any recipe the first time you had a go. So let's have a watch of that and see how it went.
Here is everything you are going to need to bake a cake. Okay?
So, first we stir the milk into that bowl.
No,
With
we
nothing
didn't
else.
wait.
And then we cook it. And then it magically goes ning and turns into a cake. Oh yeah, maybe not.
Go on, make a cake. What do you do? Make a cake.
We don't have the instructions, Mammy.
If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band, grandest band in the land. Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band and spread the welcome mat for you. Oh, I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter, grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, hired a band. Goodness sake, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How did you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band, grandest band in the land. Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band, spread the welcome mat for you. Oh, I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been, but it really doesn't matter. Grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, hired a band. Goodness sake, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? How'd you do?
So that was lots of fun, and they had a great time having to go and make a cake. But how did you find it without having a recipe?
Difficult.
It was quite hard. You didn't like it when we gave you everything, but there wasn't a recipe. You were asking, where's the recipe? What do we do? And it was a bit difficult without the plan. And you did then afterwards have to go with the recipe, didn't you? And that was easy because you knew that you knew what you were doing, and you knew that what was going to come out at the end was going to be a cake, and it was going to be a nice cake. And actually, you did surprisingly well, and your cake was fine. It looked a bit funny. It was covered in icing sugar, wasn't it? And it kind of wasn't so sweet inside, but it had lots of sugar on top. So it was quite fun, and it actually came out surprisingly well. But it was a bit better when you had the recipe there, so you knew what to do. And in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, which is a book of lots of wisdom and wise sayings, it says this in chapter 11. It says, "Without good direction, people lose their way, and the more wise counsel you follow, the better your chances." So what it's saying is, if you don't have, instructions, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have the recipe, then things can go wrong. You can lose your way. You can, end up in the wrong place. But if you have those instructions, the wise counsel, the plan, the recipe, then you've much better chances that things will turn out well. Cool. So when we're planning things and we're making plans, and when we're doing it for God, and we're trying to think about, well, how can we use our gifts to glorify Him? How can we do that? Do we do that on our own? Does Jesus say, well, just use your gifts and do something for me? It goes away? No. Yeah. So what do we have helping us and with us?
In Hope, the church.
With the church?
Wisdom.
Yeah. With wisdom? Yeah.
Well, peacemaking.
Well, that's an example of something where a great vision, an amazing plan has come together to serve people and to help people, and people in the church are helping with that. But what do we have sort of with us, helping us? What does God give us?
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit, yeah. So He's with us, and He helps us to to use our gifts to glorify Him. And it also says in Proverbs that we humans keep brainstorming options and plans, but God's purposes prevail. Yeah. So we can keep trying to do things on our own and make our own plans, but it's God's purposes that are the best ones. And the best thing really is, if we're trying to plan and have a vision as to what we're going to do and how we're going to use our gifts, well, we need to seek God's guidance as to how best to do that. And we can do that, by looking at the Bible. We can do that by listening and hearing from God. Well, how does He want us to use our gifts and the great things that He's given us? So yeah, and that's like our story here, where the servants were given gifts, and they had to use those gifts to make more. And at the end of it, what did the king say to the ones who had done well?
Well done, I'll put you in charge of the pen cities. Well done, I'll put you in charge of the 5 cities.
Yeah, so he was able to say, sort of, well done, you were faithful to me, and so I'm going to give you this sort of reward, so in the kingdom, when we do go to be with Jesus, if we can use our gifts well, maybe there will be some extra reward and responsibility for us. It's not a reward just for us, is it? It's kind of a reward of being in charge of something and being able to use our gifts even more in a greater and more amazing way. So yeah, this story is just one that really encourages us to look at what we've been given, to try and find out what gifts and what talents and what things God has given to us, be it encouraging people, leading people, serving people, and helping us to understand we can put those to good use, and don't not use them. Don't be like that third servant who said, well, I'm not going to use my gift, hopefully the king won't find out about it and I'll just put it away and kind of keep it safe. God wants us to use what we've been given, because in the end, what happened to the gift that the third servant had? Do you remember what happened, Asher? It got taken away, didn't it? And it got given to the one who had lots. So use what you had. It's not something to be scared of. It's something to be grateful for and to use for God's glory. So just at the moment, and in when the adults have their service and last week as well, they've been talking about the church's vision, okay, and the church's kind of plan for how are we going to use all the amazing gifts that as a church we have. How can we use them to glorify God and fulfill what Jesus asked us to do? Because when Jesus went away into heaven, he said to his disciples before he left, be my witnesses, go and baptize people, share the good news that I've told you with other people. Yeah, be Jesus to other people in the world who you meet. And there were examples of great people who did that. There was Paul, wasn't there? He did such an amazing job of going out into the world, and not just in kind of Jerusalem where they were, but as Jesus said, go out into Judea, Samaria, the surrounding area, and to the ends of the earth, so to everywhere. Use your gifts to glorify me. So yeah, that's really what this story is about. Have a plan what how you can use your gifts. And that's, at the moment what we're doing as a church. How can we use our gifts in a greater way to benefit the community around us and to pull together in that way? And we can do that in our lives as well. Have a vision for how you can use your gifts to glorify God and to share what you have with other people. Great. Okay, well, let's see what's coming up next.
So, today we're talking about vision. Now, as you can see, I have to wear glasses. That's because my vision isn't very good. When I take my glasses off, I can't see very well. Everything goes very blurry, which makes it very difficult to do a lot of things, especially reading my notes. So I'm going to put them back on. Okay, so we're not really talking about that kind of vision today, though. We're talking about the sort of vision where you know where you want to be or what you want to do, and you have a plan for how you get there. That's your vision. But when we have our own plans, they don't always go according to plan. So you need God. You need a God plan. Now, just like putting on glasses, there are things we can do, like reading the Bible or praying, that help sort out our vision and help us see God's vision. I like to call it putting on my God goggles. Now, Tabitha, would you like to make some God goggles?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's do it. Okay, so we have got some God goggles which I've printed off and cut out. These should be available on the website. I've attached a bit of elastic to Tabitha's because I didn't think they'd stay on very well otherwise.
see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. We wanna see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. We wanna see, we wanna see, we wanna see Jesus lifted high. We wanna see, we wanna see, we wanna see Jesus lifted high. Step by step we're moving forward, little by little we're taking ground. Every prayer a powerful weapon, strongholds come tumbling down and down and down and down. We wanna see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. We wanna see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. We wanna see, we wanna see, we wanna see Jesus lifted high. We wanna see, we wanna see, we wanna see Jesus lifted high. Step by step we're moving forward, little by little we're taking ground. Every prayer a powerful weapon, strongholds come tumbling down and down and down and down. We wanna see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. We wanna see Jesus lifted high, a banner that flies across this land, that people might see the truth and know He is the way to heaven. He is the way to heaven. He is the way to heaven.
So today we've learnt about how we can use our gifts to glorify God, and gifts that we all have that Jesus has given us, that we can use together, and we can use them to share His good news and to encourage each other and to glorify Him. So let's put our God goggles on and look out for what He wants us to do. Be reading our Bibles, be listening to God, and just hearing how He wants us to use the gifts that He's given us. Great, so we're just going to pray to close now. So God and Father, Lord, we're just so thankful for all that You give to us, Lord, and that You give each one of us gifts that we can use to encourage one another, to build each other up and to share Your good news. Help us to use those effectively. Help us to be guided by You and led by You as we do that. So yeah, be with us in that way, I pray.
Help us to use our gifts in a way that You want us to.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Great, so that's all we've got time for today. Do keep an eye out on the Early website for what's going on and what's coming up in this next week and beyond. And you can join in for the grown-up service at 10:30 today, and children's church again next week. Great, we'll see you again soon.
Oh, and you got to. Oh,
Yes, lots of off.
why not? And two what?
Okay, yes, okay, there's only two.
And mommy.
Instructions, please. I want some instructions.
Your instruction is bake a cake.
Yes, but I need instructions about how I make the cake. Okay, I think we need a whole lot of this. Achoo! Sorry. First we just quickly mix it a bit.
Remember, when you have done eggs, you need to wash your hands.
Unless you have a wipe. Oh no, we didn't weigh everything out. Wait. We're not having grown-ups in shop. No grown-ups allowed in this section of the program. Push it, push it, push it. Stop tasting it. Let's not think. Stop it. You're wasting our mixing. And all my life, I've been baking cakes, so I certainly know how to mix.
I like
It's okay. Totally meant to do that.